anyway, Rabbi Lazar says morality and Torah are interconnected. They're intertwined. If there is no Torah, there's no way that there could be morality. If there's no morality, there's no Torah. Meaning, if a person uses their own decisions to decide what's good and what's bad, the problem is that it's not dependable. Morality cannot come from humans, because humans change. One day, they think that white is good, that's in style. The next day, no, only the people that are in jails wear white. One day, they think that blue is good. The next day, no, only if you work in a hospital, you're allowed to wear blue. One day, they think that black people should be in the back of the bus. They're not allowed to drink from the same water as the white people. The next day, no, they should be president. So morality, when it's based on humans, it's flawed. It's what's in style, what's popular. What are people voting for? How do we make the most money from it? How do we take advantage of this? So morality from people is useless, because it depends on people that are flawed. Now morality, when it comes from God, that's something you can rely on. And the reason why is because God doesn't change. Despite what many goyim think, God doesn't change. Once He makes a deal, it's finished. Deal's done. So, if the Torah is there, you're going to have morality. But he says here, if you have no Torah, it's impossible for you to have morality that you can depend on. Whatever morality you have, whatever standards you have, they're not to be depended on. Even if today everything looks good. People look at America today, on the surface it looks okay. You start digging deep, not so much. Not so much. In the past, everyone looked at America like they were, wow, tzaddikim. Today, when you have the freedom of information, and you start investigating some of these past stories of American history, the standard of morals are based on America. That's what people today based everything. Everybody wants to be Americans. Israel wants to be like America. The Arabs want to be like America. Even though they hate America, they say kill America, they want to be like America. Kill America, but let's open malls like America. Kill America, but let's invest into helicopters and planes and parks and so on like America. Everyone wants to kill America, but they want to be like America. Israel is like, oh, no, we don't need America. We have this, but you're copying them everywhere. Everyone wants to be like America. So America is like the standard. Because America was looked up to. There were reasons you should look up to them. They succeeded in certain things. But when it comes to morals, when it comes to things like that, it wasn't exactly like the picture says. First of all, there's a holiday that people love to celebrate. And by people, I'm talking about Jews. Obviously, we're not allowed. Jews are not allowed to celebrate Christmas. It's a holiday of idol worship. You're not allowed to celebrate any really of the Goyim's holidays. But there's certain holidays that you would think are neutral. Neutral. Holiday like, for example, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, thank God. Before I did tshuva, I loved Thanksgiving. Loved it. Why? It was my once-in-a-year opportunity to fry my turkey. I bought a big giant thing. I saw it on some video or some news somewhere. I bought a giant bucket thingy, pot, that you could fit a whole turkey in. You fill the whole thing up with oil almost. You put a little bit of things, but mostly it's just oil and turkey. You fry it for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Delicious. Amazing. 35th floor apartment, full of snow. You're frying turkey. It doesn't get better than that. Thanksgiving once in a year. But then you start looking at what's behind this Thanksgiving. What's behind this Thanksgiving? Do you know how many people died in this holiday of Thanksgiving? American Indians that were destroyed and annihilated from this world for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than greed. They made them walk from one coast of America to the other. We can't walk to the bathroom barely. They made them walk from one coast of America to the other, and most of the people died. I went to the American Indian Museum. I wanted to cry. This is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving. You still think, oh, Thanksgiving. What Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving. You got the country from whole. You killed millions of people. What do they have to show for it? Casinos? You think they care about the casinos? Their ancestors want to be alive. So the morality is not exactly like we think. And there's a lot of other things, obviously. Point being is that when the morality comes from people, it's flawed. In the business world, everybody depends on software, depends on technology. One of the most important technologies is antivirus software. You send a virus, you could destroy an entire company. Send a guy email. Email says, hi, it's your friend Justin. The guy opens the email, he presses on some file because he thinks it's his friend Justin. And the email says his friend Justin's email. Looks like exactly the same, like Justin sent it to him. He opens the file that says, I love you, or something like that, or whatever it says. The guy opens a virus, he could destroy the entire company. He can shut down the entire company in a matter of minutes. So these antivirus companies are something we depend on. The problem is that anyone that knows a little bit about technology, especially people that are hackers and people that know a little bit about the behind the scenes of technology, they'll tell you that the biggest pushers of virus are the antivirus companies. The antivirus companies are actually the ones that create the virus. So you buy their software. They create the disease because they already have the cure. It's almost like the dentist punching you in the face to break your tooth and says, come back, I'll give you a root canal. You understand? So here you have things that are not moral. That's because it's coming from people. It comes from people, it's not dependable. It looks good. On the surface, it looks good. Coca-Cola looked good. Just that people didn't know that in the beginning it had cocaine in it. Coca-Cola, why is it Coca-Cola? Because they put cocaine in it. But everybody was so happy because all the babies would stop crying as soon as you gave them Coca-Cola. But you look at the history book, you see all these little babies, all the parents would give Coca-Cola to the babies. Not milk, no more breast milk, no more nothing. What, they give them Coca-Cola? Why? As soon as the baby had a sip of Coca-Cola, stop crying. Instantly. Look at the news reports in the old days. Later they found out, why he stopped crying? He's high. The guy just did an 8-ball. Real 100% cocaine. What do you mean real? What, it's fake cocaine? Well, you know of anything?
It's like the ones that people do to get high, no?
Well, there's a different type of cocaine?
That's what they put in Cokes, how can you put in
Not anymore. Not anymore. In the old days, when they found out that this is obviously an addictive drug and it kills people, when they found out that this is a drug that kills people and is addictive and so on, they obviously removed it. But the point is that you had damage happen before people found out. Same thing with a lot of other things. There's a lot of drugs that go through the FDA, and they're released to the public, and only to find out a year, 2 years, 3 years into it that the drug makes people suicidal. Or the drugs makes people going to, it's a drug for a headache, but it makes people depressed. Give me the headache back. I don't want to be depressed. The drug is to cure fungus on the foot, but the guy wants to jump off a roof. Just give me don't give me a foot. Don't even give me the foot. Just don't let me, I don't want to jump off the roof. One time, I told you, 7 years of health battle, you try everything. We went traditional medicine, alternative medicine, and at some point, the problem obviously continued getting worse, and I got something called hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity means that if you touched me, just touch me, regular, I feel it drastically more than you do. Which means that whatever pain I had, I felt it 10 times what it really was. So it was already bad to begin with, but I felt it like 10 times more. So it's like a little mini GEHINNOM. So now, if, let's say, for example, you have, you get scratched. You scratch your hand. Hurts a little bit, but it goes away. The pain goes away, I don't know, a minute later or 30 seconds later. Me, feel it for 25 minutes. 25 minutes, a little scratch. So I went to different doctors and this, and one neurosurgeon makes $1 million a year, told me, yeah, you should take this drug. It's going to calm your nerves, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. I said, okay, this guy's successful, he's smart, he's this, he's that, he's all these wonderful things. He tortured me a little bit with the tests. The tests were horrible because they test your nerves. To test your nerves, they inflict pain on you. So it's, again, another level of GEHINNOM. I told you guys you don't know all the stories. So anyway, with $1 million a year, the guy gives me a drug and he says, good luck to you. Everything's going to be okay. 2 days later, I see myself. I'm in pain. Pain is not stopping. But all of a sudden, I'm starting to look at my roof, and I'm like, you know what? Wouldn't be too bad to jump out of this roof. Started to become suicidal for no reason. For just looking at myself, I was like, maybe I should jump off the roof. Not because I was depressed. I was just like, maybe something's going to happen. I'm like, no, it's not good. So I go back to my day. Then I go downstairs. I used to be a smoker, so I smoked a cigarette. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, maybe I should jump into traffic. See what happens. And then I catch myself. I'm like, what is wrong with me? I call my wife immediately. I'm like, honey, what is wrong with me? I start telling her. She goes, stop taking the drug. I just found it on the net. It's suicidal. I actually just found out. I didn't know what to tell you. I called the doctor. He goes, oh, yeah, we forgot to tell you. We forgot to tell you that it's a potential side effect. It's a potential side effect. The bill me, no, they didn't forget. So it gets worse and worse. So now, but this drug had to go through a line of tests. And as part of its approval, they knew this drug makes people suicidal, but it's still in the system. And it's not the only one. There's plenty of them. That's why when you see drug commercials, Baruch Hashem, I haven't watched TV in a few years, but you see drug commercials, at the end of the commercial, there's a speed talker. A guy speaks really, really fast, and he tells you all the side effects. Death. What? I just wanted for a headache. I have a wart on my finger. Why death? What happened? Dying. What? Your family's gonna die. What? What do you mean? I just have an ingrown nail. Why is my family gonna die? What do my kids do? What do they do? I just have an ingrown nail. Honey, shut the TV off. We gotta move. The whole neighbor's gonna die. It's a plague. What? What happened? It's just for hair. I didn't want to put Propecia. I want to put some hair or something. But they think that if they talk fast, you're gonna miss it. And unfortunately we do. Because Satan talks really, really fast. Satan talks so fast, you forgot it's him talking. Satan talks so fast that sometimes it makes it look like you're talking. So, first rule of thumb. You're looking for morality, you're looking for honesty, you could only find it from God. You will not find it in people. Now, this is extremely important. And the reason why is because sometimes you see stories that will shock you. Sometimes you will see a guy that was a rabbi, tzaddik, kosher person, left everything, millions of dollars, fame, fortune, everything, decided to go help people do tshuva, and succeeded. And then one day, he loses his mind, and he goes the opposite way. Not only does he stop being religious, but he starts making other people not religious, which is unfortunately a story that we're hearing about right now. Without mentioning names, this is happening as we speak. This is one of your questions. How could such a thing happen? How could somebody leave what you would think is the God of this world, of idol worship, which is money, leave fame, leave fortune, leave everything, go help people do tshuva. Great, everything was working out wonderful. One day, disappears from the scene. No one hears from him for a while, but now you're hearing little secrets and little stories and little horror things where now he's starting to do the opposite. Now he's trying to convince religious people to become not religious. How could such a thing happen? This has to do with morality. This has to do with morality because in the history of mankind, you will never find a single person that left the Torah because of the Torah. You will only find people leaving the Torah because of either people or their own desires or a combination of both. They either can't stand people, they saw some guy that looks like a rabbi but really is a molester. He's got a long beard reaches the floor, he's got a hat that reaches the sky, but the guy molests little kids, Hashem Yerachem. You have these stories almost every other day, it seems like. Principal of a yeshiva rapes kids. Principal of this one rapes this one. What's wrong with these people? So the secular people, the religious people, and the goyim all look at this guy. Looks like a tzaddik. Looks like everything is great. Looks like a little mini Moshe Rabbeinu. He's raping little kids. That's what the Torah is? No, my friends. That's not the Torah. That's people. That's people. So when you think that that person is a representative of Judaism, that's your first mistake. The second reason why people leave Judaism is because they're tired of making sacrifices and they want to start feeding their own desires. Simple as it gets. They like the material world too much. They want girls. They want money. They want fortune. They want fame. They want to celebrate this life without a care in the world. Be like the Greeks. Live for the moment. They're tired of praying every day 3 times a day. They're tired of saying thank you to Hashem every day. First thing that they wake up in the morning, before they eat, after they go to the bathroom. Every single moment you have to think about this. God, I'm tired of it. I don't want to think about it. I want to think about myself. Little do they know that all of those mitzvot are for yourself. So when someone is looking at that, they're not leaving Judaism because of the Torah. They're leaving it because of their own desires. The Yetzer Hara convinced them they can get away with it. Their grandfather wrote a book. Their mother lights a candle for Rabbi Meir Balanes every Friday. Their cousin is a rabbi in some kollel. They think that they can piggyback off of somebody else's mitzvot. And there's a very famous story in the Gemara. Hillel HaZaken, one of the giants of all giants in history. We read about him in the beginning of the Mishnah. His brother was very rich. And he came to him one day and he says, I'm rich. I succeed in business. You succeeded in Torah. Why don't we do a deal? I'll buy half your mitzvot. I'll give you half my money. I'll buy half your mitzvot. What's it to you? You'll have money. You could build more kollels, do zikuy rabim, make movies on the internet, do whatever you want. You have a fortune. I don't have that much mitzvot. So now I have mitzvot. I got $1 billion, I'll give you 500 million. I got $10 billion, I'll give you 5 billion. I'll give you half. Deal or no deal? A bat kol from Shamayim came out, a heavenly voice from Shamayim came out and said, even if you would agree, when you'd arrive to Shamayim, we'd laugh in your face. To think that you can buy a single mitzvah, forget half of his mitzvot, a single mitzvah with all of the money in the world. Not just your money, your 5 billion, your 5 trillion, your $5, whatever. All of the money in the world can buy one mitzvah. The smallest mitzvah, the biggest mitzvah doesn't make a difference. One mitzvah I can't afford. Said in Shamayim, they use a verse from Shlomo HaMelech, said it. I think it's from my Kohelet. It says, we'd laugh at you when you get to Shamayim for thinking so foolishly that you can buy mitzvot after they were already made. You want to buy mitzvot? You buy them before they're made. You want to invest into Torah? You invest into the guy before he becomes Rav Ovadia, not after he becomes Rav Ovadia. There's a story of a guy, a rich guy, who invested in buying Rav Ovadia, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livacha, a BMW every year. And he thought he was doing a big mitzvah. He said he's buying Rav Ovadia a car, I don't know, $100,000, $150,000 car every year. Every year he'd buy a brand new car. He was very, very rich. and he would consider that as tzedakah. Now, Rabbi Ovadia wasn't exactly too keen on material stuff, but he just took the car and he would give it to his family to drive him around and so on. But this was not a traditional thing. But the point is that one day, the news reports come out that the guy that was so-called donating this BMW crashed in a helicopter and died. So they asked, Kvod Rav, doesn't they say it's tzedakah tatzil mimavet? That charity, Shlomo HaMelech tells us, charity will save you from death. So how could it be that a guy that donates tzedakah, BMW every year, or every few years, whatever it is, how could he die, not only die, but die such a horrible death, mitah meshuna? This is a strange death, from a helicopter. What they say? So BMW is not it's not tzedakah. Giving Rabbi Ovadia a BMW is not considered tzedakah. It's a gift. It's not tzedakah. Giving Ovadia before he becomes Rav Ovadia a few dollars to survive, that's tzedakah. After Rav Ovadia becomes Rav Ovadia, you give him a present, you give him a present. It's not tzedakah. He doesn't need you. He's Gdol Ador. He's a multimillionaire. He doesn't need your present. It's not tzedakah. Go give it to an avrech that doesn't have food to eat right now before he becomes Gdol Ador. That's tzedakah. Go help Am Yisrael do tshuva by contributing to some organization that actually helps people do tshuva. That's tzedakah. But you want to give it to some famous celebrity that he's already printing money in his living room? And you think that's tzedakah? It's not tzedakah. That's just a gift. Gift, you don't get special protection from heaven for a gift. It's nice, thank you. So you get a thank you card. So now, when someone leaves the religion, how could such a thing be? So first and foremost, we have to understand is that when a person is basing Judaism on Jews, and he's basing his tshuva on the Jewish people, he's basing his conversion on the Jewish people, and for a matter of fact, he's basing his anything on people, any people, it becomes like an hourglass. You know the hourglass? Where the grains keep dropping, and eventually they run out of the sand? Where it's only a matter of time before they all let you down. And before your decision to do tshuva, to move, to convert, to join something, it's only a matter of time where that whole decision, the whole rationale behind your decision collapses. Why? Because it's based on people. And people will let you down. People will let you down. Your friend from childhood is not your friend anymore. Your best friend from 3 years ago, all of a sudden you don't talk anymore. Your colleague that you used to smoke a cigarette with 18 times a day, when you worked on Wall Street, he doesn't even call you. I had a guy that, miskin, he had a lot of problems. He came from an enormous amount of money, came from a very, very rich family. As a teenager, he would crash his Porsches and Ferraris, that kind of money. And we were friends in the business. But he was older than me, but I took him under my wing because he was a mess. He was a psychological mess. Extremely smart guy. Like IQ off the roof. Very handsome guy, used to be a model. Like celebrity model. Everything going for him. Problem? Drugs. Drugs would destroy this kid. So anyway, I took him under my wing. And I try to help him. Every time he get into trouble, I'd bail him out. Get arrested, I'd bail him out. Get high, bail him out. Too high, send him to rehab. Pay for rehab. And so on and so forth. But Mamash, this guy became like my son. For years. endless amount of problems. One of the times, he got kicked out of his house, so I took him into my apartment. Now, one of my apartments in New York was on the 7th floor. And 2 floors down, there was like a community balcony on the 5th floor. So one time, this is one of the crazy stories you can't make up. So one time I went out, and I told him, listen, just do me a favor. Go to sleep. You got into some trouble or whatever. Go to sleep. Relax. Stop with the drugs. Stop with all the mess. Stop, please. Just, I'm only going to be gone for a few hours. Can you do it? No problem, no problem, no problem. And he was such a manipulative person. All people, by the way, that have a drug addiction automatically inherit the ability to manipulate. Everyone feels bad for them. I was one of them. I'm a sucker for people like this. So anyway, I go out. I come back. There's a few things, a few details I'm trying to avoid telling you. I come back to the house. The doorman to my apartment building tells me, where were you? I'm like, what happened? He goes, you didn't hear? I'm like, no, what didn't hear what? He said, he jumped out of your window. I'm like, what do you mean jumped in the window? He goes, he jumped from the 7th floor to the 5th floor because he thought that the cops were after him. He got high. He got high. He thought that he got paranoid. Somebody knocked on the door. He thought it was the cops. He jumped out of the window, destroyed his leg. His leg broke into a million pieces. And then he started like crawling in the hallway. Mamash, a big mess. Shem Yirachem, I'm thinking to myself, what is going on with this kid? A few hours, I leave you, a few hours. So anyway, I go to the hospital, take care of this guy, this, that, whatever. Yeah, they had to put metal in his leg. I have stories, I could write a book just about these stories. Of course, the first time. As I told you, the story keeps going. It's a very long story. If I told you guys the story, it'd be 10 years. So anyway, so this guy jumps out of my window. I take care of him. His drug habits, send him to rehab a couple of times. Every time, $18,000 coming out of my bank like nobody's business. No problem, no problem. The guy's sick. You love the guy. He's a good guy. You take care of him. As you would have it, one day I get sick. November 18, 2006, my surgery, my famous surgery takes place. I start dying. Everyone knows. People that know me know. People that don't know me know. Everyone knows. Yaron Reuven is dying. Some strangers come to visit. Some familiar faces come to visit. But he doesn't come to visit. He doesn't come to visit or even call for almost 3 years. And one day he calls me and he says, hey, how are you? How's everything? I heard you had a thing. I'm like, yeah, you heard I had a thing, huh? I'm like, where were you when I was down? He goes, no, I don't know. I felt bad. I don't know. I didn't call right away. I don't know. It was, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Well, thank you for I don't know, but good luck. That's it. Guy like that, for me, a guy like that doesn't even call you, doesn't visit you. You nursed him much more than what I'm telling you. People will let you down. It's not just in religion. It's everywhere. So if you're basing your decisions on people, your decision has no legs. It's only a matter of time before it gets destroyed. If you converted because you like the Jewish community, you converted for the wrong reason. If you converted for a husband or a wife, you converted for the wrong reason. In Shamayim, they won't accept your conversion. But here you'll have to suffer with it. If you became religious because you like a community, you want to be part of some Bet Knesset, you became religious for the wrong reason. It's only a matter of time before the community will spit at you. It's only a matter of time before you're not popular anymore. It's only a matter of time before you're not invited to the community barbecue. or before people start talking about you, or before they start saying things that you don't really like, or they don't accept your kids to school, or they don't back you on some type of plan that you have, it's only a matter of time before they all let you down. Only a matter of time. They're all going to ask you for favors, but they're never going to return. All of them call me and ask me, oh, can you help my son? He's off the derech. Why is he off the derech? Ah, he did some drugs. Oh, he has a non-Jewish girlfriend. Oh, he has a this. Oh, he has a that. Can you talk to him? Can you do a lecture for him? Can you invite him? Can you go one-on-one with him? Can you do this? Can you do that? No problem. No problem. Whatever. Your son is miskin. Your wife's miskina. Your husband, you're this. No problem. You want me to help? No problem. Here's a package. Give him my number. Have him call me. He wants to meet. Whatever it is. We work for Hashem. No problem. You would think that in 3 years you'd send $10 contribution. $10 contribution to the Zikuy Rabim. I sent you a package, $95 free. You would think, at the very least, you'd pay back the $95 because you make $100,000 a year. You make $50,000 a year. You would think. You know that we work off tzedakah. We don't get man from Shemayim. You think, I helped your brother, I helped your sister, I helped you, I helped something. You think somebody's going to do something. No, my friend. No. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you're doing it for tzedakah, you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're doing it for all of these other things, it's a matter of time before the whole system shuts down. So when you get in to Zikuy Rabim, you tell the story, I made money, I did this, and I left this, and I did all these things. Initially, people are impressed. But this one specific person was expecting to get the same level of respect from the Jewish world that he got in the business world. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. He made an error, he spoke about somebody that he shouldn't have spoken about. Whether he's right or wrong is irrelevant. And that other person emptied out the laundry on this guy. He uncovered a lot of things that no one wants to hear. And in so many words, the Jewish world wasn't exactly very accommodating. Wasn't exactly very pleased to hear this news. So he got embarrassed. He got embarrassed. And he ran away. And now he's so upset at the Jewish people that he wants to destroy them. This has nothing to do with the Torah. Even though he's trying to use the same Torah that he learned against them, he's trying to, or he is being a naval birshut Torah, a degenerate with, he thinks, permission of the Torah to be a degenerate. As the Ramban said, the reality of it is that he's not doing it because of the Torah. He's doing it because of his own ego. His ego was hurt. He was expecting people to applaud him. He was expecting people to kiss his you-know-what. He was expecting people to praise him. And as soon as a few tomatoes were thrown in his face, he didn't like it, so now he wants revenge. Do you remember a story like that in the Gemara? We just had Tisha B'Av. You guys remember a story back then? No. What story? Kamsa, Bar Kamsa. Kamsa, Bar Kamsa, same thing. Ego is hurt. Has nothing to do with the Torah. He didn't go to the Goyim and rat on the Jews because he didn't like the Torah. He used the Torah law. He used the Torah law against the Jews, saying, listen, if you bring the Korban, and the Korban has a pgam on it, has some type of mum on it, they're not going to accept it. So what did he do? He created the mum. He cut the sheep's lip. And he knew the Jews are not going to accept the Korban. What happened? Destruction of Bet HaMikdash. Why? It wasn't the Torah that destroyed Bet HaMikdash. It was people. It was ego. It wasn't the Torah that made this guy go off the derech. Him and many like him. It was ego. Lack of morality.
I've heard enough. New arrival screams, echoing through the hallway to know that this ain't good. Once they pass them through the infierno, they don't come back. It's enough to make you go crazy.
do not think we fear you, spirit.
We know your power is born of evil.
This is your last night in the land of the living. You understand me, malevolent demon?
There was a rich family that lived here called the Hetheringtons, and unfortunately, their daughter passed away of a heart attack inside the house. Basically, they were so devastated that they reached out to people claiming to be psychic mediums. They actually weren't psychic mediums. They opened up a total of 11 portals inside this house and invited spirits and entities from all different kinds of dimensions.
Well, I think there are certain pieces of evidence that there is an afterlife.
Resurrection of the dead is affirmed pretty clearly in the Talmud and the Midrash.
To be honest with you, to give this lecture is a nightmare. If it was up to me, I wouldn't. There's going to be some graphic details.
This place is a maze.
That person after death went to a place called Sheol.
This is by far the largest near-death experience study that has ever been conducted.
People go to a place and they experience weird things. And sometimes they actually will see a character of some type. Well, where did that come from?
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there.
They may describe feeling profoundly peaceful, seeing a bright, warm, welcoming light. Some people describe watching doctors and nurses working on them with incredible accuracy.
Next thing I knew, I was above my body watching the operation.
How long did you feel like you were gone? I went to a place of timelessness. And so what that means, it could have been a second, could have been 5 minutes. I don't know.
Can you imagine waking up from your sleep and not being able to move?
As I'm lying there, I realized that there's an evil presence next to me.
Do you believe that angels, demons exist?
Holy shit, dude, get out of here! Oh my god, dude!
Strange things keep happening, bizarre nightmares, as if I'm on fire.
Whoa, what the hell is this? Man, I've got bad chest pain.
Satan's Hollow is what it's called, the portal to hell.
Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up.
And the next thing I know, I was outside of my body, looking at my body.
What I'm going to
astrology was called claromancy, the art of throwing lots or throwing bones.
2,000 years of experience passed down, recorded, of how demons work.
God has them all on a leash, and he lets the leash go enough to let them tempt us, because that's what makes us spiritually stronger.
I'm trying to be as graphic as possible so you understand what we're talking about.
It's your ticket to reality. It's your ticket to freedom. It's your ticket to immortality.
Is there an afterlife? Is there a
It's
God?
the type of information that can keep you away from the Yetzirah.
What happens to us after we die?